Hello friends, welcome to our RV YouTube channel. Now we are in the fifth session of electric drives and course control subject. In this fifth session we are going to discuss about steady state stability of electric drive part 2. In our fourth session, that means in our previous session, we discussed about the equations governing motor load dynamics and the steady state stability of electric drive part 1. In part 1, we discussed how to identify whether an electric drive system is stable or unstable depending upon the speed torque characteristics. So, in the previous session, we identified either a system is stable or unstable by means of increasing or decreasing the speed. So, now let us try to find the value of the speed which is increased by delta omega m. Okay. So now let us try to find out this value delta omega m mathematically, how much which it is increased. So for that, let us have the equation between the motor and the load which we derived in the previous session as Tm is equal to TL plus J into d omega m by dt. Let us number this equation as number 1. This equation we derived in previous session under the topic called equations governing motor and load dynamics. So from that I have taken this equation. So after this, if we increase the speed by delta omega m, what will happen is here you will be having a small increment in motor torque as Tm plus delta Tm equal to similarly here TL plus delta TL and here also J into d by dt omega m plus delta omega m. So because since you are increasing the speed delta omega m, a small increment in the torque delta Tm to this term and a small increment in the delta TL to this term and delta omega m to this term. Now, let us expand this equation. Tm plus delta Tm which is equal to TL plus delta TL J d omega m by dt plus J d delta omega m by dt. Now, let us number this equation as 2. Now, let us subtract this equation 1 from 2. So, what will happen? Tm plus delta Tm minus Tm which is equal to TL which is equal to TL plus delta TL plus J into d omega m by dt plus J into d delta omega m by dt minus TL minus J into d omega m by dt. Now here Tm gets cancels with each other, TL and TL cancels with each other, J d omega m by dt, J d omega m by dt cancels with each other. Therefore, now we will have delta Tm is equal to delta TL plus J d delta omega m by dt. Let this equation be number 3. Okay. Now, let us try to find out the value of this delta Tm and delta TL. See here, for that I am going to consider a speed torque characteristics. This is your speed and this is your torque. Okay. Now, here we are trying to change the speed. That means we are trying to increase the speed. Therefore, we have the change in the torque. So, now let us assume that the change in this torque due to the change in speed is as a slope of the straight line. So let us draw the straight line. Okay. See, change in torque due to the change in speed is assumed to be slope of the straight line. So I am here trying to draw the straight line from which I have to find the slope. So how will you find the slope? Slope is nothing but the change in vertical axis divided by change in horizontal axis. Therefore, here your slope m is equal to dy by dx, change in vertical axis divided by change in horizontal axis. Here vertical axis is nothing but your delta omega m and here delta tm, because you are changing it by delta tm and delta omega m. Here you can write dy as what? Y axis is omega m divided by d. X axis is what? Tm, which is equal to here d omega m by dtm, that is your slope is given as delta omega m by delta tm, delta omega m by delta tm. Okay, so now you may have a doubt, why we are assuming the change in the torque when we change the speed is as the slope of the straight line. See, now let us assume this curve. Let us assume this curve. So when you consider only a small portion, because we are considering only a small portion, right? Only small portion, delta omega m, a small portion. Wherever you see, it is a small portion. So I am assuming this out of this entire portion, I am assuming only this small portion. So if you carefully look at this small portion, it will be almost like a straight line. Okay, it is almost like a straight line. Therefore, the small portion is, the change in this small portion is almost a straight line. So here we are assuming that the small change in the torque due to the small change in the speed is the slope of the straight line, and it is identified as d omega m by dtm is equal to delta omega m by delta tm. So from which we will try to find out delta tm, which is our requirement here. From this equation, let us try to find out delta tm, which is our requirement for the equation 3. So let me rewrite this equation once again. D omega m by dtm is equal to delta omega m by delta tm. So from which we will try to find out delta tm. So from which we will get delta tm as delta tm is equal to delta omega m, and this comes this side, therefore dtm, and this comes as this side, therefore this is d omega m. Just we are trying to find out delta tm from this equation. So delta tm is equal to, which is nothing but delta omega m into this comes this side, so dtm divided by d omega m. This is for the motor torque, the change in the motor torque. Similarly, we have to find the value for delta TL also. So from this equation itself, we can write for delta TL also. Similarly, delta TL is equal to delta omega m into TTL by d omega m. So now let us number this equation as, let me see the equation number of the previous equation. Previous equation was 3. So let us number this equation as 4 and let us number this equation as 5. Now our aim is to substitute this equation 4 and 5 in 3. So substitute the equations 4 and 5 in 3. So what will you get? Instead of delta Tm, you have to substitute equation 4. So instead of delta Tm, you substitute this delta omega m into dtm by d omega m, which is equal to, instead of delta TL, you substitute equation 5 delta omega m into dTL by d omega m plus j d del omega m by dt. Okay. So after substituting the equation 4 and 5 in 3, we are getting this expression. Now just shift this term to the right hand side. I mean a small rearrangement of this equation. So what will you get? Delta omega m dTL by d omega m plus j d delta omega m by dt. If you shift this term to the right hand side, this will become minus delta omega m dtm by d omega m equal to 0. Now take this delta omega m and delta omega m as common term from this two terms. So what will happen? dTL by d omega m minus dtm by d omega m, and you are taking this delta omega as common term from these two terms, delta omega m plus j d delta omega m by dt, which is equal to 0. Now again let us rearrange this equation by shifting this term to the right hand side. Therefore what happens? dTL by d omega m minus dtm by d omega m into delta omega m, which is equal to minus j d del omega m by dt. Okay. So what we are going to do is, now again we are going to rearrange this equation by bringing this j minus j term to the left hand side. So what will happen? Minus 1 by j into dtL by d omega m minus dt by d omega m into delta omega m is equal to plus, because we have brought this minus this side, so d delta omega m by dt. Just we are once again rearranging this equation by means of bringing this minus j to the left hand side. So what it becomes is minus 1 by j dTL by d omega m minus dtm by d omega m into delta omega m, which is equal to d del omega m by dt. Okay. Now let us integrate on both the sides of this equation. So what will happen is, integration of before that we have to make a small rearrangement of this equation. Is just bring this dt to this side and delta omega m to this side. Okay. So minus 1 by j dtL by d omega m minus dtm by d omega m. So bring this dt to this side, which is equal to d delta omega m, and bring this delta omega m here. Okay, a small rearrangement again, once again, just by bringing this delta omega m this side and this dt this side. Now you integrate this equation on both the sides. So what will happen? Minus 1 by j dTL by d omega m minus dtm by d omega m integration of dt, which is equal to integration of d delta omega m by delta omega m. That is nothing but integration of d delta omega m by delta omega m, which is equal to minus 1 by j dTL by d omega m minus dtm by d omega m integration of dt. Now integration of dx by x is equal to log x. See here, x is nothing but delta omega m. Similarly, integration of dx is equal to x, here dt, x is nothing but t. So by using this formula, let us integrate the above equation. So what happens is, here if you integrate this d delta omega m by delta omega m, you will get delta omega m, which is log delta omega m. If you integrate this integration of d delta omega m by delta omega m, you will get log delta omega m, because the formula of this integration of dx by x is equal to log x, where x is equal to delta omega m, which is equal to minus 1 by j dTL by d omega m minus dtm by d omega m, integration of dt, that means integration of dx is nothing but x. Here t is equal to x, therefore t, and always we used to introduce a constant c whenever we integrate. Now take exponential on both the sides of this equation. So e to the power of log delta omega m, which is equal to e to the power of minus 1 by j into dtl by d omega m minus dt by d omega m plus c. Okay, just I am taking exponential on both the sides of the above this equation. Okay, now let us simplify this equation, or let us go to the further steps of this equation. We know that from the basic fundamental logarithms, e to the power of log x is equal to x, and e to the power of a plus b is equal to e to the power of a into e to the power of b. So now let us use this logarithmic formulae. Okay, so e to the power of log delta omega m becomes delta omega m, because according to the logarithm e to the power of log x is equal to x. Here x is nothing but delta omega m, therefore e to the power of log delta omega m becomes delta omega m, which is equal to e to the power of minus 1 by j dtl by d omega m minus dt by dtm, right? dtm by d omega m into e to the power of c, because we are using this formula. E to the in exponential you have e to the power of a plus b is equal to e to the power of a into e to the power of b. So here e to the power of this entire term is a, okay, and this c is nothing but assumed to be b. So according to this exponential formula, e to the power of a plus b is equal to e to the power of a into e to the power of b. We can write e to the power of minus 1 by j into dtl by d omega m minus dtm by d omega m into e to the power of b. B is nothing but c, so e to the power of c. So by using these two formulae, we have rearranged this equation to this form. Now delta omega m is equal to also e to the power of constant. According to the exponential formula of e to the power of constant is equal to constant. Here our constant value is c. Therefore what happens is delta omega m is equal to e to the power of constant is c, constant. Here according to this formula, e to the power of constant is equal to constant. Therefore e to the power of c, here c is a constant value. So according to this formula, e to the power of c becomes c into this term, e to the power of minus 1 by j into dtl by d omega m minus dtm by d omega m. Okay, so now let us number this equation as, let me see the previous equation which I have numbered as 5. Okay, the last equation which we numbered as 5, so this will become equation number 6. Okay, so this is our change in speed equation which we are ultimately trying to find out in this session. But I want to find out this equation for the initial condition at time t is equal to 0 also. I mean using the initial conditions value. So at the initial value, at the initial time, or at the initial condition, your t is equal to 0. At that particular point of t is equal to 0, I am assuming this delta omega m as delta omega m naught. That means it is a representation. Okay, so at the initial condition, when your time t is equal to 0, my change in speed, I am considering that term change in speed as delta omega m naught. So what happens to this equation 6? Let us see. So substitute t is equal to 0 in 6 in order to find out the value of delta omega m naught. That means the change in speed at the initial condition. So therefore your delta omega m becomes delta omega m naught, which is equal to c into e to the power of, oh sorry, here we have to carry one term called t which we have missed. See here, I'm extremely sorry. Here there is a term called t minus 1 by j dtl by d omega m minus dtm by d omega m into t plus c. I'm extremely sorry, here into t plus c. So similarly in this equation also, which will be carried, e to the power of minus 1 by j dtl by d omega m minus dtm by d omega m into t. Similarly this t will be carried here also, e to the power of minus 1 by j dtl by d omega m minus dtm by d omega m into t. So now sorry for the inconvenience. Now e to the power of minus 1 by j dtl by d omega m minus dtm by d omega m, and here t has to be substituted as 0 since we are trying to find out for the initial condition, into 0. Therefore your delta omega m naught is equal to c into e to the power of minus 1 by j into this term into 0 becomes what? 0. We know that e to the power of 0 is equal to 1. Therefore your delta omega m naught is equal to c into 1. Therefore your value of delta omega m naught is equal to c. Now let us number this equation as 7. Now substitute this equation 7 in this equation number 6. So what happens? Delta omega m is equal to, instead of c you have to substitute delta omega m naught. That means we are trying to substitute 7 in 6. So instead of c you have to substitute delta omega m naught into exponential. That means e to the power of minus 1 by j dtl by d omega m minus dtm by d omega m into t. So this is our 8th equation, which is nothing but the change in speed which we are trying to find out ultimately. Okay, so in this session we have derived the value of the change in speed called delta omega m in this session 5. Thank you.